I feel like this week has been like in the military. What do they say? Hell week?
Yeah.
This week has been hell week.
Well, pre-K first week. I think I haven't thought about it until like today we were talking, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess like school started this week for the kids, and
Sonora went once.
She only went one day.
Okay.
So when I'm thinking about you, like your kids went 5, right?
Well, 4 because Labor Day.
But they do go 5. Well, your oldest goes 5. Yeah. Your middle goes
3, but of course only 2 since Labor Day.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is
well, and next week they don't have school on Wednesday.
No.
That's so stupid. So she'll only go one day next week. She was in the same class. She's in the same class that
my daughter was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had.
Yeah, she's really good.
I mean, I really liked her just like right off the bat. I really liked her.
Yeah, she's just super sweet. Like one of those people that like never even rolls to a stop sign.
I think I ran a stop. My traffic incidents were bad today. I ran the stop sign and I ran a red light. If there's a police officer watching this, no, I didn't, but I did. Colin yelled at me, and Marcy.
I haven't even been.
Marcy said, "You ain't gonna stop at that sign." I said, "Oh," like Cher from Clueless. That was me.
I haven't been stopping at the stop sign at Starbucks. I just go.
Which one?
The 4-way. Like in.
You're not stopping at a 4-way stop sign?
No. If I don't see anybody there, I just go.
Well, rolling stop.
No, I just go. I just go. I don't. My foot doesn't leave the gas.
Okay, when you leave Starbucks,
yeah,
will you turn left there if you have to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at first I wouldn't, because I was like, I'm a good girl, and now I'm like, this is annoying. Left turn.
Well, you remember,
and then I turned back to the kids. I said, don't do that.
Well, remember
don't do that.
They're like, people were turning left here and you can't turn left here. So then they put all those signs up and they painted the middle of the road.
Like
they even put on social media like there will be a heavier police presence.
I've never seen a cop there in my life.
No, neither have I. And I'm scared to death that they're going to be across the street.
There in the Jennings Park.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't see them. They'd just be hiding in there.
But I still do.
Every time you hook the left, you're like, it's worth the risk. I'm not going to go the whole way around by Chick-fil-A, back out, back
it's
around.
It's a horrible setup.
I'm not doing it.
It's a horrible
The way
setup.
that they set that area up of Norland is terrible. They could have really done something there. Yeah. And every time they add something else, it's worse than it was before.
And coming out of Target, the little tiny turning lane, and everybody trying to come out of Red Robin.
Yeah. It's awful. It's bad.
I hate it.
I remember when because you've lived here your whole life. I mean, but when you like came to town, you would come to Chambersburg, right?
Right.
So you've been in this town your whole life.
Yeah.
Like when you went to town, this is the town you went to.
It's the area, yeah.
Yeah. I remember when Target was not there.
It was a field.
Cornfield. And then they had Circuit City. Remember that?
I do not remember Circuit City.
It's where Route 21. Route 21's gone. What's there now?
Best Buy.
No, there was no Best Buy. It was Circuit City, which just went out of business.
Oh. I don't know. Route 21's closed now.
Yeah, I don't think they put anything else in there.
This is empty.
Spirit Halloween going in there.
Probably.
For sure. Welcome to Relatively Speaking, the podcast where we dive into the beautiful chaos of everyday life with your hosts, Taylor
and Caitlin. Join us each week as we chat about trending topics, swap tips, and offer heartfelt advice. Think of us as your new besties, ready to tackle the ups and downs of life right alongside you. So get comfy and let's talk about it all, relatively speaking.
Anyways, how was your kids' first week of school?
It was all right. I think they absolutely love it. They're glad to be back.
Yeah.
It's been freaking hectic. Like I said, it's
so much running.
Freaking hectic. So much running, and trying to juggle that with like work and doing preschool drop off before I start work, and then coordinating pickup with mother-in-law and making sure everything is right, because this year my kids get picked up at different times.
Yeah. So are
And
you picking up one if she's picking up the other always? She's not having to like run back, or is she waiting? I know last year you did a lot of waiting.
on Mondays and Fridays are the 2 days that they get picked up separate times.
How do you remember this? How do you keep this stuff tracked? Because I would be losing it.
Well, I cried today at
Oh,
lunchtime.
you did. So
I
you
think it
sent me
finally
a
all
snap.
caught up to me.
You sent me a snap, and I was sitting there with Sullivan, and he snapped like pushed the first one, and it just went straight to the second one.
Oh.
You're like, and I was sobbing so hard, and I was like, she'll fill me in later.
Yeah, I think I just came to, like, I was just going through the motions and doing all the things. And literally on Wednesday, it felt like this week had been 10 days long because
It was only
of
the
all
second day,
the
technically,
memorizing
of
of the schedules. And
I would have to have the biggest calendar with everything written down. And I have a Google Calendar with Colin. Do you and David have a shared calendar?
David and I have
I don't think I could do it if we didn't have a shared calendar.
David and I have a shared calendar, and then I also have an acrylic calendar on the fridge.
And you use that.
And I use that
Okay.
because I need to see it
We do
all day,
have,
every day.
like a whiteboard calendar, and we will write stuff on there. Like now, Colin's been doing overtime, and he tries to put in the Google Calendar, but they're very specific days and times and everything, so you'd have to put so many in, and sometimes that's like too much for me. So I'm trying to remember. But this will be his third week of overtime coming up, and he does different days, different times, and different hours. And I'm like, I told him straight up, I was like, I asked you 100 times, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't, that's like one more thing I cannot keep up with.
Yes.
I cannot. So I don't know how you do. I don't know how you do it.
Well, like I said, I cried today. Just had a breakdown. And David was late coming home from work for lunch because he usually comes home for lunch. And since he was late coming home, he had
That was it.
Well, he had to go back early. And when he got home, he like did all the things really quick. And he's like, "Okay, I gotta go." And I'm like, "What? What?"
Do you guys have like a snuggle time after the kids go down for a nap? Like,
Well, no, but we have like at least
a
5
chit
minutes
chat
of
banter.
Yeah, at least 5 minutes of banter. Like, how's your day going? How's your day going? What are we doing tonight? Like, just catching up.
Yeah, but when you tell me or say anything about crying, like that literally
Mhm.
just nothing. Like I feel like normal people would be like, I was bawling to an extreme point today, and when you tell me that, I'm like, okay.
Okay, I know.
And?
I am a crier, but you have to admit.
But you're nothing compared to what you used to be.
Well, ever since I have been on anxiety depression medicine,
Yeah.
it kind of
Dude,
definitely numbs you a little bit.
the way you used to break down in tears
Instant
every
tears.
day,
Instant tears.
in
every
like
day.
hysteric bawling, and everyone's sitting around like this.
I know. It's embarrassing.
And it was like to the point where at first I would like give David this look. I'm like, is she okay? Like, she do something. He'd be like, no. She's good. And like then it happens so much. Like I don't know if you've ever been around someone that breaks down in tears like you would.
I don't think.
Imagine how uncomfortable the room gets. Because it was to the point where you were crying and everyone else is sitting around just pretending it's not happening. Everyone around us is like, okay, so Caitlin's over here in the corner sobbing. Weird. How was your day? What did you have for lunch?
I'm a
What's
crier.
going on? I am not. How many times have you ever seen me cry?
I don't even know if I've seen you one time cry.
In person? Maybe, like, other than, like,
I think
not like
maybe in Mexico.
Like, my grandfather died.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the only time I've seen you cry, and it wasn't even a hysterical cry. It was just like a
like
shed a
tears were
tear
coming out. Yeah.
pour a tear out for grandpa.
I definitely cried to you on like Snap.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I can think of like because it's so rare.
Yeah.
I don't know. This past year after I had Sullivan, I feel like I was crying all the time. But I'm not a crier.
Yeah.
Like at my wedding, and I hate bringing up the wedding with you because you're like, I don't remember that.
Oh no.
I
was in psychosis at your wedding. My firstborn had me in psychosis, so yeah. And honestly, half of your reception, I was driving around Hagerstown, trying to get him to go to sleep. And David's like, "Just stay," and I'm like, "No, he's gonna cry. He's gonna ruin her wedding."
I did not hear him cry.
I know. I was in psychosis. Okay, it was bad. It was bad. It was real bad.
I feel bad, but looking back on it, it's like, yeah.
I wish I would remember your wedding more.
Yeah.
I wish, it sucks.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Mm.
Oh, my vows. Colin, like, it's so well known that he's a crier
Yeah.
that, like, it was in the vows, like, I'll cry with you. And everyone laughed because he cries and I don't. And, like, I've never been a very emotional person. I mean, I feel like I used to be when I was, like, a teenager.
Yeah.
But ever since then, like, I'm always the type of person that's, like, very level-headed. But, like, you would just be crying. And honestly, sometimes I'd be like, dude,
Well, and I would happy cry too.
stop.
Like, I would just be so happy I would cry.
Dude, do you remember your birthday? When David planned all that surprise stuff for you and you
Yeah.
started crying?
No, I don't remember crying, but
You were crying in the nail salon. I was like, stop. Like, I love you. I love you. But when you cry in public, I'm like, it looks like something's wrong. It looks like you're like, your dog just died and someone's gonna, because for someone that has social anxiety,
Yeah.
to cry in public is
Yeah.
crazy.
really,
To cry in because what if somebody comes up to you and is like, are you okay? What are you gonna say to that?
it's a total breakdown, though. It's a total breakdown. Like, it's not like I'm crying for fun out here.
True. But if
I've
like,
reached a
I'm
point
to
of
the
no
point
return. I'm
where
crying.
if I cry, I am excusing myself to the depths.
Where
of
was I gonna go in the nail salon?
outside? I don't
With my
know.
little toes in paper flip
It was
flops.
before we got into the chair. Were those? I don't even know. I don't even like to ask because since I'm like emotionally depleted, I don't want to know about your emotions. So when you're crying, I'm like, this could be any reason,
Any emotion.
happy or sad. Was it happy tears?
Well, I'm sure probably.
Because David planned the surprise and like you were just putting it together that it was like this surprise.
Yeah, probably.
And so you started crying. But at the same time I felt like, well, maybe she's upset that he planned.
No,
the
I was
surprise.
upset.
It was something else. Because, like, Randy's, like, over in the corner, and she's like, is she okay? And I'm like, I literally looked at her, I was like,
Don't know.
me and you best friends for, like, almost 10 years. I'm like, oh, why is she crying? I'm not gonna ask. I don't know.
I will say, ever since I've been on anxiety medication,
don't cry as
depression medication, I don't cry because you're hummed out. You're like,
Yeah.
you're on this level. And so today when I did like get to that point of crying, which is astounding that it did take all week, like this hell week of new schedules and pre-K and the whole nine. It took all week. Like before it would be one day. Like one day and I'd be like,
Yeah.
drop the curtains, it's over.
Yeah.
But it took a week until I got to the point of crying. And when I was crying, David said, just talk to me. What's going
David
on?
is a hero.
I know.
Because he's
I know.
just dealing with that.
And I'm like, nothing's wrong. And he goes, well, obviously something's wrong. And I'm like, I think it's just
Well, I think
getting to me.
sometimes you get a little stressed out and
Yeah.
then you cry. Like, I get frustration tears, but I wouldn't call that crying. Those are just frustration tears.
Just crying.
But it's not like I'm like, I'm just like irritated, and then like I'm like the tears are just coming out.
Yeah. Well, I will say I felt a lot better after I had to
You
cry.
always feel better after a good cry.
I'm like,
A
okay.
cry, it's like a bath. It resets
Yeah.
you.
I'm like, okay.
It's like a reset.
It's all good.
It's like a night's sleep, a shower, and a cry.
Yeah.
Nothing resets you more. Who needs self-care? A shower, a good cry, and a good night's sleep. That's like the total reset.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same way with your kids. If your kid is losing their mind,
Mm-hmm.
not a good cry. But putting them in the bathtub, reset, factory reset, right back to original settings.
Most of the time.
If that doesn't work, I'm basically out of ideas. Like, have you ever been so stressed with your kid that you're like, I've got to put him in the bathtub? What else is there to do?
Yeah.
What else is there? Yeah, I've been so on my wits' end. I'm like, run that water. Run it up. Gotta put him in there.
I know. And summer's almost over. It's going to be fall. Outside time is going to be cut down.
I know. I keep thinking about it every night. We were outside.
But I'm glad that pre-K started back up because the kids absolutely love it. Eli thrives. Like, he
does.
loves it so much. Like,
It was so
after
cute
the
when I
first
saw him
day,
this week.
the first day, he's like, am I going to see my teacher tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay. And he loves her. Like,
They were
it's
being good.
great.
Like, when I saw them walking in the hallway, I was like, these are some pre-kindergartners.
I know.
And his teacher's, like, young looking. Is there two teachers or is like an assistant?
There is an assistant.
She-
the assistant's young.
Yeah, she looked young. I was like, girl.
I mean, I'm not saying his teacher's old, but
I think
she's
when
older than me.
I think when you are like in your 20s, you have this mindset where you're young, and then when you see seeing people that are younger than you, it's almost like, what are you doing here, girl? You should be in elementary school.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I graduated college 4 years ago. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Now when I see young people, I think I disassociate. Like I just stop thinking about it.
I will
I'm
say,
like,
I
"Mm,
feel
it's
like
fine."
I was the youngest mom there. Like
Really?
I didn't see anyone that was like, maybe I'm just delusional, but it felt like I was the youngest one there.
You know what? There was only one mom younger than me last year at that class.
That's crazy.
And actually, David's brother dated her. Yeah,
I'm not going to say anything about that.
I know.
I'm just going to move on to the next
We
topic.
probably should.
Probably should move right on to the next topic. What is the next topic, actually?
So speaking of preschool, they take like a ton of pictures of your kids and like
Yeah.
they use that app and they send you pictures of your kids.
Which I
And
haven't gotten any yet. Waiting.
Well, I will say that teacher doesn't send a lot.
I know. You should have told me that.
They also have a Facebook page.
Dude, I saw they had the cube and he was blacked out of the cube.
So you have the option, like, to
Girl,
not
he's
put
the
your
only
kid.
one in the class that blacked
He was
out.
last year too. So you can opt to not have your child's picture on social media, which my husband and I we're not like straight sticklers for, but like we don't have public.
I don't have a public Facebook page.
Yeah, like
which I was just thinking about that for like this pod, and I was like, my Instagram is also private.
Yeah,
and like that's like I don't know how I
should
feel
probably
about
make
that.
a second one.
Yeah, I probably should.
But it's all private because I don't want my kids' pictures out on the interwebs for creeps and pervs. And also, 20 years from now,
I think that
I don't
that's
want my kids to be like these pictures of me when I'm in diapers or all over the internet.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's more of the thing. Like when I think about my kids, it's like I don't want to put them out there if they don't want to be out there.
Yeah.
And like even when we talk about them on the podcast, I feel like in my mind, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, what if they don't want me to talk about them on the podcast? Yeah. I mean, like they're so entwined with our lives, and it's like that's everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not everything about us. Like I think we said that before, but it's hard to like separate it a little bit. Like someday they're gonna be their own people and they're gonna have their own social media and their own life, and I can't even think about that. But like that's kind of what I think of. Like when I think about posting my kids, it's like, well, they didn't ask for that. You know, it just like reminds me of like Nepo babies and like kids that grew up online and kids that like the sister wives kids, like and that whole thing.
So yeah, my stuff's not public and I try not to post too much, and we ask like that grandparents don't post stuff like that either, which is also hard because, you know, when you ask that of somebody, you know,
it's hard if you don't understand where you're coming from, because like your like a generation above you, like your mother-in-law and stuff, she would have not had that problem, you know, when her kids were growing up. And so now in this day and age, it's totally different. I've never said anything to my in-laws or my parents about it because I just never had that issue. And it's like maybe if it comes up, but like my cousin that I talk about all the time, she's very strict about that. Like not anyone else posting her kid on the internet. And like when they were pregnant, like they went through their friends list and made sure. And so that brought that attention to me. I was like, maybe I should do that too. So like I went through my friends list and really cycled it out because I'm like, I don't know these people. I haven't talked to them in so long. Like I don't want them seeing my stuff. So yeah, I feel the same way.
So the preschool paperwork, I signed like I don't want my kids on social media, like because their pages are public.
They are.
And like I don't know how I feel like about that. I guess it's so that people can go on and see how great the pre-K is, the nursery or whatever.
I feel like it still should be private.
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, it feels weird to me. So I say last year and this year, don't put my kid on Facebook. And
well, it's good that they don't like exclude them from the picture. They still take the picture and then they just will throw them out. Because when I was talking to Colin about it, he's like, well, I don't want them to be like pushed out of the picture and they have to stand on the sidelines.
No, they just put a dot on the face. Which
I think that makes me feel better about it.
I think did he have a cloud?
I don't even know.
I think
in
it
the
was a
cube,
cloud.
in the cube picture, he was
Yeah.
literally blacked out. Looked like the cube was empty. He wasn't even in it.
I didn't even see that one, but the other one where they're on the mat, I think he had like a cloud emoji on his face.
Well, it's just nice that they do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that they hate us?
I don't think. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the person because each teacher does it separately. But yeah, I feel like as far as social media goes, I just don't want their pictures out there like that. And I try really hard to not post a ton.
Yeah. I don't post that much on social media like I used to. Like,
Yeah.
we were talking like last night, you and I was like, dude, when Instagram first came out, I had 1,000 pictures on that thing in like a week's time. I was posting everything you could think of. But like when Instagram came out, it was just like for fun. And I still view it that way. I feel like a lot of people I follow think that Instagram is some kind of like art project where you have to have all these like creatively crafted images of like this very niche point in time, and it's like cutesy. And maybe the people you follow on social media don't do that because you're old, but the people I follow on social media are like, let's make it cutesy. You like everything has to be like a photo dump. There's 10 pictures, and it's like one of them is of you, and everything else is like
These people
a
don't have kids.
sunset. No, I don't have no dang kids.
That's right.
I'm just sharing because it's like I care about how it looks. Not like, oh, I wonder how so and so is gonna look at this and think, does this look cool? Like, I don't care about that at all. And maybe that's just because like I'm getting old now. Like when somebody
What?
follows you or adds you as a friend,
Yeah.
do you look at your own page like from
No.
their point of view?
No, I don't do that.
I
guess I really don't care though.
Yeah.
And I really don't post that much, so it just really doesn't matter.
Remember who we were talking about?
I hope they're looking. Haters gonna hate.
Guess who just added me on Facebook? Yep.
Why?
Is that not crazy? Because we were just talking about him.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That's so random.
Yeah. Because
Did you see him somewhere though?
No, he literally lives in
Down south.
No, he just moved.
That's what you said, to Maryland.
No, he was in somewhere. I don't know where he was, but he just relocated to almost near Scranton. Dude, he's the assistant principal of the school.
How can you be an assistant
That's
principal?
what I said. Dude,
When you're
especially
an abuser.
because, dude, when I Googled his name on
The first thing that comes up is
that's the
abuser.
first thing that came up. The whole article and everything.
The strangler.
The strangler. And
The strangler?
if you know who I'm talking about, if you're from our area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Chambersburg choker. That's what we called him. Dude.
How can you be an assistant principal? In
And
PA.
it's in PA. It's just in the same state. And I'm telling you, a simple Google search of this. Well, I actually Googled his first, middle,
Right.
because
Full
that's
name.
his full name.
Yeah.
And it came up. First article.
Maybe.
Assistant principal. Do they just like overlook it? Do they not do it on background check?
Hold on. My brain's a little fuzzy.
Okay,
But-
I'll fill you in.
But didn't
Yes.
they got back together
2 more
and
kids.
she dropped the charges?
All charges were dropped.
Yeah, that's why.
But
That's why.
It's a
He's not convicted.
But
He's
yes,
not convicted.
But he was arrested.
But he's not convicted.
Yeah, but still
Innocent until proven guilty. He
Dude,
wasn't convicted.
Okay, but when I had a teacher or anyone that I ever meet and come in contact with my life, I am Googling them. I am searching them on Facebook. I'm searching them up.
Do you think people who are hiring assistant principals do this? Well,
They should. They should.
definitely should.
Oh, anyways.
Social media, man.
If you know, you know. So
That's-
he added me on Facebook.
Yeah, that's Facebook drama, and I feel like that's what Facebook is for anymore. Facebook is
absolutely.
for
I don't
people
look. I won't look
and
when I'm
drama.
like looking people up. It will be on Facebook or
Yeah, because
Google.
that's where the
I'm not
tea
going
is.
to look people up on Instagram or anything.
Right,
like
because
that.
they're not gonna say anything on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I will look everyone up on Facebook, and I think that obviously it's a good thing, but it's so annoying to me now because back in the day you could look people up by their government first and last name, and you would find them.
No.
Now everyone has their middle name or they go by a nickname. Where it's like you could never really like. Some people have like mine is my first and last name, but other people like it's like their middle name depending on like their job or like a nickname or something funky. But like now that I'm a sub, My stuff is so private though. Like, I don't care if somebody sees it. It's just like pictures of me and like some of my kids. But
I like those girls on TikTok that are like, I'll find you like no matter where you are. And the
I
people
have
like
found people.
challenge them. They're like, everything of mine's private. Like you'll never find
You
it.
know what always gets them though?
And she always does.
It's the family members.
Yeah.
Because if your Aunt Kathy, because her last name is the same as yours, I'm finding Aunt Kathy. And Aunt Kathy tagged you in Facebook post in 2014 from Christmas.
And Aunt Kathy can't keep her mouth shut.
And you're in it. And I saw you in it because you don't look that different than you did in 2014. Okay, it was only 10 years ago. And I see you. And then it's tagged, and you never changed your Facebook. You only changed your Facebook name. So she might have tagged you in it. Your Facebook name is different, but there you are. And I click on it, and I'll click on every single person. I don't care if there's 30 people tagged. I will click on every single one until I find you. I'm going to find you. You're not as private as you think you are. Found you. No. There you are. And that is a special talent that I think most women acquire over the time. And if you don't, you're lying. Like, I was in this one mom friend group, and
friend group or social media friend?
It was like a messenger group, and it was like a mom's group. And I straight up said, like, we all joined it in the group, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we're all in here. Like, I can click each one of your pages directly. I don't have to search you. And they all like loved it. Like, we're laughing. Because if you say you don't do that, you're a fat liar. You're a fat liar if you say you're not looking at every single person on social media. And like, people want to go, I don't do that. You're a liar. And if you don't, you're freaking weird. I don't trust you. What do you mean?
I'll say I don't as often anymore.
No, but like, if I'm talking to you,
I was creeping on everything, but now I'm just like, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time. But
it doesn't take me that long.
If David and I are talking about a situation, and we're like, oh wait,
like the
wait, did they do this or when was that? We go right over there.
We were talking about last night with David.
Yeah,
I was looking them all up, couldn't find anything.
Really?
No, because I don't know how to spell.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
And so I was,
but you didn't creep through mine.
I did, but I didn't see her.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what her last name is either. That was my problem. So I honestly put a pin in it, and I know I'll go back. And I don't need your help. I will find it. I will find it. You mark my words tonight. I'll be sending
2 a.m. You're like,
found you. Found your mother. Found you. Don't try me.
Oh.
But that's Facebook. I mean, we were talking to David last night about Facebook and how the stuff you post on there is just going to be different because you have your mother on there, you got your grandma, you got your Aunt Kathy on there.
Yeah.
And like, you have, at least for me, and I think for me and you, when I talk about stuff, I realize that there is a gap because like the way you use social media and I do, it's very different because like you said last night, social media, Facebook popped off when you were like a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Girl, I was in the 6th grade downloading Facebook, lying about my age. Probably still says I'm older than I am.
I got Facebook in 08 when I was a senior.
Yeah, when I was, in 08, I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
I was riding the bus and the kids were playing Farmville and I said, that looks like fun. What's that? And we had one computer. It was in the computer room, and you rolled up one at a time, and everyone could see your search history. And see everything you were doing. My mom had my password and everything. But that's really where everything started, was Facebook. I mean, I've never seen the movie.
And now I just
Social Network.
And now I just get on Facebook to
creep on people.
Look at the drama, see if there's any drama in the local, like, I follow all those like local pages.
See, but sometimes they get too much.
Well, yeah, because old people, it was like we were saying the other week, like Facebook let all the village idiots congregate together.
Before, back in the day when it was like the village idiots, like, don't talk to him, he's crazy. Then he got on Facebook and he started a Facebook group like, oh, Mark the town crazy person thought the moon was made out of cheese, and everyone's like, Mark's a nut job, don't talk to him. Facebook came out, he's like, people that think the moon's made of cheese, and then now there's like 9,000 users, and they all get together, and they're like, see, like we were talking about that girl I used to work with that believes the earth is flat.
Oh yeah, flat earthers.
And she's got like 100,000 views. But like when I worked with her, everyone at work was literally, she was being ridiculed left and right because it's a crazy idea. I'm sorry if you're a flat earther and you're a listener, you're a nut job. So she would
we still love you though.
Facebook pages. She'd post all this stuff on her personal Facebook page. And I used to have a really strong thing about not adding people at work onto Facebook because I think that they would tattle on you. Like certain people, you can always get the vibe from them.
But tattle on what?
If you calling out, I'm going to the black party. I ain't coming to work. They'd be like, oh, did you see that so and so was at the block party and they weren't at work?
You just don't post that.
I got to let people know where I'm at. No, I never went to a block party. I would have like skipped work and then like went to like the town corn festival. You know. Still, I couldn't get off, so I had to call in. But it's always like the older ladies at work that like just cheer you on forever. Yeah. They comment on every picture. Yes. Beautiful family. Yes. I love you, mamas. You're so cute, gorgeous. Like there is a few girls that will comment on every single one of my posts. Like, oh, I hope you're doing good, beautiful. I love you. And I'll see them out in town, and they will give me a hug. Like, I miss you. You're so beautiful. And I'm like. Yeah. They act like they've talked to you like every day for the last year. I'm like, I will never delete these people off my social media as long as I live. I love it.
I like the old people that type statuses of like something they were searching. That's my favorite, especially when it's people like they're searching somebody, but they post the name in a post.
I think instead. I have a hard time with people when you find them on social media. You see this side of them, and when you know them in person 1st, you don't know, and then you see them on Facebook, and you're like, oh no, they're illiterate. Yes. Like my mom, I don't think she'll ever listen to the podcast. She's illiterate. She doesn't know. Mind you, I have an English minor. My sister-in-law is an English major, right? She doesn't know the difference between there, and there. No. You're and you are. And she'll just put that out for the world to see.
If I type the wrong one while I'm typing, I go, ooh.
Oh, no. We were and we are. Like like there was someone that you and I know. That's where David is tonight.
Yes.
That man, his Facebook status is about to send me into a coma. I love them though. Yeah. I eat them right up because they're so interesting and entertaining. But I would read them and not one piece of punctuation. It's one sentence. And I'm reading it like...
Well, and we're typing these on computers that have autocorrect and spell check.
That's what I'm saying. They must have turned them all off. And they're like, I don't need that. I don't need that garbage. Fake news. Punctuation. I don't need that.
The only other thing that I do on Facebook is Marketplace.
Stop it.
First thing.
That's insane.
6 o'clock, 6 a.m., roll over, pick up the phone, Marketplace.
You know what that calls for?
What?
Therapy. Help. You need help. Confessions of a Marketplace.
This is not news. I just like looking at the junk. I just like looking at it. Looking at what other people are selling.
I feel like there's a lore to the Facebook Marketplace world that I'm not in. You either get it or you don't. I'm like, I get it, but like, I don't care that much about it. But like, there's people that like, you can just tell when they list something, the jargon that they use when they list it, you know if they're in it or they're not.
That's right.
David, when he posts stuff on Facebook Marketplace, I'm like, this man is invested. This is his...
If he lists something, he will come and get me and he'll ask me to search and see where it comes up in the search.
When he was getting rid of that, what was like a lawnmower, mulcher one?
Before we moved?
No, it's here.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember that.
It was red?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was before, I don't know. He put in all bold letters, do not ask if this is available. If it is posted, it is available. And I get that because you get a bunch of those messages. Yes. What do you want people to say? When can you meet?
I know. I feel
what do you want
awkward.
What do you want them to say?
If I want to ask if it's still available, I'll always add something else like, hey, is this available? Where do you meet? Or like, so they don't like rip me. But
yeah,
people don't take stuff down.
Exactly. Stuff down. You and I even getting some of like our stuff for like the podcast.
That has been the most stressful time in my life on Marketplace because I still have messages that people have never responded to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, why even post it? If you're not going to respond to the messages, why post it?
And do you remember that one lady? She's like, "Oh, I'm selling it for my grandson. I'll have to wait till he comes this weekend."
I will tell you my biggest thing about Marketplace. And, David, this might be a topic we can save Facebook Marketplace just for David if he wants to do a guest spot. The scams that happen on Facebook Marketplace. Because
Facebook is for old people, and that's why they're scams.
Yeah. Like, I have this lady, that my parents used to work with this guy. And, like, my whole life, like, I knew him. But he met this lady, on the Christian Mingle, and they got married. She has 5 kids and lives in Chittenango, New York. Irrelevant to the story, but it's kind of crazy. She posted last week this thing on her Facebook page, and it was like, it looked kind of legit. When I first read it, I was like, oh. But then, like, when I thought about it more, I was like, this is a scam. Like, it just gives me that energy. And so I'm messaging, mind you, she has 5 kids. So I'm messaging their whole family, like, hey, I think that this is a scam that's happening. Like, you guys need to check this out. Like, if not, I'm sorry, but I want to make sure. And it was a scam. She had posted, like, someone in my family died and they need to sell off some of their stuff.
Oh, yeah. We're moving next week, and all this stuff has to go.
Yeah. Well, that's when you see all the time, and you can tell because of the inconsistency of the things that are posted.
Oh, yeah.
If it's like
makes sense.
a truck, and then like
A hot tub,
and then it's like a baby bassinet or like a stroller, and I'm like, these people, I know they don't have like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you ain't this loaded with all this like farm equipment and like a baby, and like it's like you have to connect the dots. And so when she had posted it, it was like it was giving my brain red flags, and I try not to be mean and ageist. Is that a thing?
Yes.
But
yes, ageist is a thing.
You cannot tell me that you saw that and nothing in your brain said, this is weird. This isn't normal. And you're sending people money on the internet.
Yeah. No.
I don't send people money on the internet.
No.
Ever.
No.
My grandfather,
Mm.
God bless him, he can't do a Walmart pickup. My mom had to go with him. He couldn't do it. How is he sending people money on the internet? How are they figuring that? You can figure that out, but you can't do a Walmart pickup, but you can send $2,000 to someone on the internet? Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
A little suspicious. Okay. Facebook Marketplace, the scams deter me, I think, too much.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that sometimes I get a little too hyped if I find something, and I'll like send it to David. I'm like, did you see what I sent you? He goes, that's a scam.
It's official. David is going to be on Facebook Marketplace. That's David's lore.
I will say, when Instagram came out, though, I don't want to say that I don't understand it, because I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand how it's different than Facebook. I mean, I understand how it's different. I don't know how to go about this. It's the same stuff, but it's just cleaned up a little bit.
It is. Well, okay.
So I'm like, this is the same thing. So when I get on Instagram, I barely look at anything. I get on Instagram to see if you or my sister sent me reels. And that's only because I love you guys.
I'll watch the ones you send me.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care about them as that much.
I don't either.
Okay, so can we just vow now to not send each other reels anymore? Unless they're really good.
Sometimes when my sister sends them, I'll go in and just like scroll through them. But so it looks like I saw it.
She doesn't use TikTok?
No. I don't have... I have 3 sisters. Only one of them uses TikTok.
Kirsten?
Yeah. And you.
Am I your sister?
No one else in my life uses TikTok.
David doesn't?
Not anymore. Ever.
Why? I know it's about to be something real stupid. It's going to make me mad, but go ahead.
I used to be anti-TikTok because I'm like, oh, China. And then and then I'm like, this is stupid. And so then I got TikTok. I love TikTok.
I'm telling you, when was it, like last year or 2 years ago, that they were like threatening to shut it down? And I was to Colin, I was almost in tears, and like we were just talking about before the pod. No, that was on the pod. That was I don't cry. I don't know. I don't cry. And
yes, on the pod. Like 10 minutes ago.
I don't remember. I was almost in tears. So I was like, if they get rid of TikTok, this is like the only good thing in my life. What am I gonna do?
Well, and David had TikTok. David had TikTok, and I did not have TikTok. Okay. Then I got TikTok when I was like, what's a big deal?
Yeah.
This is dramatic. And then when they threatened to shut it down because of all the reasons and the infiltration and the whatever else verbiage they're using, David's like, I'm getting rid of TikTok. I can't have TikTok.
Oh, but he was sitting here last night judging me for getting rid of it because Twitter, because Elon bought it. And he's like,
so David does not have TikTok anymore. Well, David doesn't have TikTok.
He'd be watching them.
But he still has his profile because if I send it to him in text message, he can watch it.
It says, like, David.
He can watch it. So he must still have an account because you can't watch him if you don't have an account anymore.
Oh.
But he doesn't have it on his phone. So anyway, no one else in my life has TikTok.
Oh,
in my immediate life.
Everyone I know, I think. My mom doesn't have it. But my dad's a snitch and he shows her all my TikToks.
That's
Thanks,
weird.
Dad. My dad watches TikToks too.
Your dad joined our TikTok page today.
So much. I know he'll be watching these.
When I got TikTok, I feel like the world opened up.
I thought I sent
feel
it
like
to you. I thought I sent it to you. It's like, please watch this.
TikTok
It's
is
changed
the
my life
fount from all
exponentially.
which flows.
Yes. Like when we're talking about the podcast, everything comes back to TikTok because it's just like it's huge. It's literally life-changing. From someone that has a communication major, TikTok is insane.
Yeah.
The reach.
There are things I've learned about myself from TikTok that I would have never realized. Mm-hmm. There are hacks that I've learned from TikTok that I would have never realized. There are, it's just, is there stupid stuff on TikTok?
Yes. But I would say that 90% of the stuff I see on TikTok is
helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I think, no, I'm not like a huge music person. I like to listen to music, but I think like one of our like yap points today was like I had that Chappell Roan song stuck in my head. Without TikTok, imagine how different. Like Chappell Roan really just blew up. Like she's been doing it for 10 years.
She wouldn't have blown up,
right? Imagine what things would look like for a lot of, creators, musicians.
Jules LeBron never would have existed.
Yeah. Like TikTok is the moment, and it might go away. It might get shut down.
If you want to be on our podcast, just hit us up.
Please, Jules. Please be on our podcast. It would be very demure,
very cutesy,
very mindful. Anyways, I can't even. Okay, TikTok. Colin and I talk about this all the time. Like music specifically, insane. Like I know that there's one creator, Honest Ave. I don't know if you know who that is. I'm bad with names, but he is like a rapper, and so he would make like these videos. It's like your deadbeat boyfriend, like buying you a Christmas present or something like that. And he's also a rapper, and you would probably recognize one of his songs. Sorry, this is like it. I feel like you have to pull him out.
I posted this song.
This guy.
I made this song the other day, and somebody said this just scratches my brain.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
This just scratches my brain, right?
But yeah. So
yes,
he's a rapper.
I don't even follow him, but he's always on my FYP.
Yeah. So he's a rapper, and he has this song. Yeah. So without TikTok, like he probably would have never really gotten anywhere.
Yeah.
Or if he did, it would have just taken so much longer. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a little sad because with TikTok you don't know, and that's what all these creators will say. Well, you don't know when it's going to be done. Yep. You don't know when it's going to end.
Yep.
But all you know is it's happening right now, and you have to like lean into it.
Speaking of, Hawk to a girl.
Yes, she just said she was coming out of the pod.
Girl, yes. And do you know what it's called?
Talk to So we were at the beach. We were like walking on like the boardwalk, and we saw, they have like the shirts like and say, if she don't hawk to her, I don't want to talk to her. And then now her podcast is Talk to her.
I will say I'm a little disappointed because I saw like I followed her podcast on TikTok. They have their own TikTok for it now. Uh-huh. And they like showed her studio where she's going to be recording. And I was just really disappointed because she walked in and she goes, oh, this looks so nice. Yeah, it looks nice. You guys did a good job. Oh, and then she pointed to the sign and she's like, talk to her. That's so good. You didn't even know the name of your podcast? You had no creative
Dude, so
input on your
she has like a
show?
PR. Like we were talking about this like right before. Like these podcasts that we're comparing ourselves to and that we're listening to, like we were just talking about the comment section. We were talking about Therapus, and those are like the two that I've been talking about all night. And like they're literally like in the middle of their podcast, they'll like look out. There's people filming them. There's people editing it. There's people managing it. They have a PR. They have a publicist. They have all these people literally doing it behind the scenes. And like when you and I are like down on ourselves, we're like, this is so hard. It's just us. Like it's just
There's
me
no one
and
else
you.
here.
And if you wanted to guess, I would love for you to leave a little comment if you're coming from TikTok. Who do you think is the editor of the podcast? Just go ahead and drop that one in the comments.
Let us know.
Let us know. Who do you think edits this podcast?
Who's the writer and who's the producer?
Who's the producer? Just go ahead and leave that right there.
We really want to know your opinion. What do you think?
So to segue this into my favorite part of the pod tonight, would be to talk about my nearest, dearest, favoritist social media, Reddit. Which you have absolutely no. You only use Reddit, like you were asking David last night. You only use it when you like Google something and there's like a Reddit and you're like, that's where the answer is going to be.
That's
right
where
there.
the answer is going to be.
There was this kid that was in my accounting class in high school, and he would get on Reddit every day and just go to these different like subreddits and show you like funny memes, because that's where the memes originate. If you don't know, memes originate in Reddit. Everything originates in Reddit, and then it just goes to everything else.
You know.
So when I'm like interested in something, I don't even know what it really started as. I think influencers, social media, because I care a lot about that. I mean, and I think a lot of girls my age kind of got, and maybe it varies from like 20 to 35, 18 to 35. Women kind of would be like influenced by these influencers, and influencers really blew up, I would say probably like 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And then they started to like monetize. They would do ads. They would do like, what do you call that?
Well, okay, so I did not
Collab.
realize that's why Vine died.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I wrote a whole
That
research
Vine wouldn't
paper on
pay
this in
them.
college. They wouldn't pay them anything.
And they were like, then you lost us.
And so-
Vine died.
And so all of there was just a TikTok about it, which is probably what you're referencing.
I don't know where I saw it.
Brittany Ferlin.
Don't know.
She was one of the bigger ones
yeah.
on Vine. It was her and like 10 other people got together, and they were like, we want to make just a percentage off of the videos.
Right.
Because they were making,
Yeah,
it's huge. And they were like, no. And so like the people were all leaving. Well, they left and it was like dead within like a year. And so TikTok came out, I think it was like 2019. That's when I joined, was 2019, right before 2020. I think it was like Christmas of 2019.
I feel like if I would have had TikTok in 2020 through COVID, through
your life would have been
postpartum,
better.
I would have been in a better mental state.
Yes.
For sure.
I will say when I was pregnant with my first, TikTok was kind of negative for me, because I was seeing a lot of other moms and like comparing and
talk.
yeah,
Perfect moms, first
and they're telling you all of these things you should do with your baby. Oh, this baby, your baby should be on this schedule and blah blah blah. And you start like internalizing that, and then you're like, well, my baby's not doing that. It was so toxic for me, I had to stop.
Yeah,
but that's besides the point.
I didn't need TikTok to be that toxic with myself. I had Instagram, Facebook.
So, I feel the same way for Instagram and Facebook, but I really, on Instagram and Facebook, I only follow people that I know. I do not follow, I used to follow celebrities, I would follow influencers, I would follow brands, I would follow all of these things on Instagram. But when stories came out, because when Instagram first hit, it was just the posts. There was no stories. So when Instagram started doing stories, and you're following all these people you don't really know, you're getting hundreds of stories a day from people that you like don't really care about. So like I would follow all these influencers, and I will be name dropping them because I think that this is relevant, and we will definitely have to come back and do more. So Living My Best Style, Katie Roach, Danny Austin, Daryl Ann Denner, what are some other ones? Des B, which is Des Pfeiffer. What are some other ones? House and Hens, which is Emily Hoffler. Those are just 5 right there. And Wheelchair Rapunzel, which is Alex Stacey. So there's 6. So they're all girls, and so I used to follow a lot more like fitness pages back in the day, but a lot of these other ones are just like fashion, and they're not just fashion, but they like on Reddit the term is shill. So they like try to sell you stuff basically.
Oh, yeah.
So they do all these partnerships. They have an Amazon storefront, they have a Like to Know It, they have direct links, all these things. And so I feel like when it started, they would make their post, and then they would say in their bio like blah 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 blah, little excerpt about their life. If you like my outfit, go to this link in my bio, right? And everything was link in bio. Everything was link in bio.
Link tree.
Yes. And so you would go to their page, you go to their link in their bio, and it would take you to either the direct link to the site. Let's say it was like American Eagle. It would take you directly to American Eagle, and then they would have that like
Item.
hyperlink.
Yeah.
Hyperlinked item right there. Then they would do an Amazon storefront. I think I'm not going to say that that's newer because it's not newer, but that's like more common now. Or they would do Like to Know It, which do you know what Like to Know It is? No. Okay, so you'd probably know it if you saw it.
Probably.
It's this like app where you can link every single thing directly.
Oh yeah.
And then you click on it and it takes you directly there with their link.
Yeah.
So I used to follow these influencers, and then I feel like one day it dawned on me that like they are literally just selling you things.
Mm-hmm.
This is an advertisement behind a face.
Mm-hmm.
And everything they do, every post they make is to sell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not really people. Like they let you in on parts of their lives, but you start to see like a little bit of like these cracks behind them, and like you realize that like this is like a production. Like they have a team. They have like 2 phones. They like this is a job to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start seeing that and you start hearing them say that, oh, I work, and I'm like, but it doesn't seem like work. This seems like their life. This just seems like what they're doing, like for fun. Like this is just fun for them. Once I started to like pick up on that, then that's when I started to go like to Reddit. Because one girl specifically, and I will highlight her because her story is the craziest. And it's living my best style. I don't know if you know who she is.
Nope.
Katie Roach. I might have sent you her stuff before. I don't follow her anymore because she's very toxic.
I don't follow people like that to the point where... No.
Okay. So I followed her early on. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I don't even know. I don't follow people like that to the point where, like, I know all their names and their handles and, like...
Yeah. Well, I don't anymore. I do not follow... I only follow maybe, like, a handful of influencers now that I feel like I really connect with them.
Are genuine.
And they... I know that they're trying to sell stuff to me, but I can look beyond that because they do share things about their life that I enjoy.
Well, and I don't mind if you're trying to sell me something if it's something you sincerely and love and use and find helpful. But if it's just something you got off TikTok Shop and you're peddling it, I'm scrolling past. Yeah. And if I'm following you, might get an unfollow.
I don't watch one TikTok Shop video. If there's anything in the bottom, what? Caitlin, what?
I forgot to bring your gift down.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to go get it.
It's like a bug on
I'm gonna have to go get it.
Okay.
That I bought TikTok Shop?
I will not watch one TikTok Shop video. If I see one, I'll just scroll right past it. And maybe it's because I'm in like my no spending era right now where I'm like trying to not spend a bunch of money. So like, and that's another reason I think I unfollowed a bunch of influencers because it's like, I'm easily influenced. I am easily influenced. And if I see stuff, because it's like, they're not just shilling crap all the time. Some of the stuff is cute and I am.
Where did this term come from?
It's from Reddit.
What does it mean? Like no, I mean like is it 2 words put together or like my brain can't
to shill. SHILL.
To
like
shill?
They're trying to shill you. Like they're trying to like shill it out. Like they're selling it to you.
Like shell it out? Shill it out? Okay. Sorry. My brain's just when it's a word I've never heard of, my brain is just trying to find ways to connect it. One person who does well at selling items, new on the scene, Jules LeBron.
Oh yeah, see, I don't know. Are you serious? Stuff. Only the Demure.
Okay.
Oh, so a shilling is also
Oh,
like a
coin.
European, you know.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Jules stuff. I even literally commented on one of them saying, I don't even feel like I'm watching an advertisement. They just, you're going to have to
That's
go
the
look.
point. That's the
Yeah,
point of
but
the influencer.
people are so bad at it anymore
yeah
that
Well,
it's
because
so
you don't need to be good.
obvious.
But when it first started, and I will tell you, like, this Living My Best Style girl, Katie, she was so good at it. She would just post like her life. So she was married. Okay, before I get too off topic, shilling. To talk about or describe someone or something in a favorable way because you are being paid to do it.
Mm.
So they will
Okay.
shill these items because.
Can I see the word? Can I see it?
Oh, I gotta go back.
Well, why'd you click out of it?
Didn't think you needed to see it.
I'm a visual learner.
So, anyways, so Katie, this is my lore of the evening. It's my new word of the week. You haven't noticed.
I have noticed.
Colin got mad at me tonight because I kept
You were
saying,
even saying it last night.
I kept saying, I know a blank hate to see me coming. We went to Brewster tonight. I said, I know a waffle cone hate to see me coming. Okay, so Katie,
You definitely add spice to his life. That's for
he
sure.
was so done with me by the end of the night. So her and her husband got married when she was 18. He was in the Marines.
Okay.
And so she was pretty young. I think he's only like a few years older than her, though. I think he was only like 22 when they got married. So it wasn't anything like crazy. They met and got married very fast, and he was in the military, so they kind of moved around. I know that they lived in Texas, they lived in North Carolina, they lived in Washington at one point. Well, somewhere along the way, they were having like marital problems, and I think that they moved to Washington State, and he became like a firefighter, and I think he had family in Washington State. So I think people in other parts of the country don't say Washington State, but since we live like closer to like DC, that's like a thing in our area. We'll say Washington State. So they were living in Washington, and she was like gonna go get a boob job because she's an influencer. And so she had posted like, oh, tomorrow's the day. Like she was sharing this like publicly. That she was gonna go get a boob job. Well, in the morning of the surgery, she like gets on Instagram and posts on her story. Like this was like he's probably 4 now, so it's probably like 5 years ago. I won't be getting my, breast augmentation done today because something came up the morning of. She was pregnant. She had found out that she was pregnant and she couldn't have the surgery, but she didn't share that. She just said she couldn't get it done. So then like a few weeks later comes to find out, like she shares that she's pregnant and she's like pretty excited, but she was probably only like 22 at this point. Like she was still pretty young, and she had shared before like she wasn't ready to have kids or start a family because she was trying to grow her business, Instagram. And so, but her husband was older than her and he wanted to have kids and start a family. He wanted to have a big family. And so she said that like they were having like marital problems. To put this on the internet with millions of, not millions, but like hundreds of thousands of followers is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So they were having marital problems and they actually separated. And while she was pregnant, and she was like living with her mom or something, or she never said this, but through Reddit, through like years of investigative research, I found all of this stuff out. So this is how I'm telling you this. She moved in with her mom or staying with her for a while, and then just claimed that they were having like house renovations done, or he was away for work and she was just going to visit her mom or something. It all comes out like later on. It's very obvious now what was happening. She didn't want to have kids. Like she was about to get a boob job. Like that's where she was in her life. So, the baby was born around like December time. They literally announced before his first birthday that they were getting divorced. And so she had like, they had moved a ton. So they lived in North Carolina, then they were in Washington State, and then she didn't want to be there, so they moved back to Texas. As soon as they moved back to Texas, it was like, so you could tell something happened and they got divorced. And then she had to stop posting about him altogether. Like, something went down. Come to find out, this is verified information. She was cheating on him with her husband, Jake, his cousin. Yeah. And they had kids. His cousin had kids. with his wife. He was married. So they had like 2 kids. And she was sleeping with this guy. And she had a kid. So now like they all live together, the cousins, which would be like the second cousins of her son. Yeah. And now they're like gonna be like siblings. So this like happened like I said, the son's like 4 now. So this would have been like 3 years ago. Honestly, he might even be, no, I think he's 4. So like if you like searched her up, and I found all this stuff on Reddit, Living My Best Snark. Snark, that's another Reddit, trying to look it up. They have a house together, and if you look up her name and like the property or like the town that she lives in, you can see his name is listed on the property. It says that he lives there, like this guy and everything.
The ex-husband?
No, her new man's that she's with. She's never posted about him.
Oh.
And they like have been together for like 3.5 years now.
That's probably a good thing.
She's never posted him. She just goes about her social media as an influencer like nothing ever happened. That she's single, she's a single mom, it's just her and her son.
Oh, that's how she acts.
Yes.
It's not that she just doesn't post about him. She acts like she's single.
Yes, she acts single. They're literally engaged. She doesn't wear a ring. She acts like she's by herself. But girl, let me tell you, she's going on these trips and she's posting pictures where someone's clearly taking it, and she's like, "Oh, just me and Coop." Someone's taking that picture. It wasn't a tripod. You're on a boat. You're on a boat. Who's driving the boat? Who's driving the boat? Like, she just like it's crazy. And there's so much more that goes on. Yeah, that's that story. And so like that's the stuff you find out on Reddit. And there's pages and pages and pages of this stuff on Reddit. And when you start like really digging into it, you realize that all these influencers, like the people that get canceled, but they're just not famous enough to get canceled, because Instagram, I feel like, is too, there's not enough content for you to be judging. They're just posting these pictures or like these stories.
Yeah.
People on TikTok, it's easy to pick out and pinpoint things that they're doing wrong or saying wrong to get canceled for. And like you're seeing these people's personalities in their life every day and like the stuff that they're posting. But yeah, that's my little Reddit take of the evening.
Yeah, Reddit for me is just an answer place. I don't think I care about anything enough to like whatever you do on Reddit.
Nothing?
Have a thing pinned or whatever you call it.
Even like,
do you call
okay, I don't know.
Follow a page.
Yeah, it's basically like page.
Okay.
It's, if you think about it in terms of like how you do with Facebook, it's like a group.
Okay.
It's like a Facebook group.
Yeah, I don't think I care about anything.
But it's all anonymous. It's all 100% anonymous. Like, I follow some that have nothing to do with like social media or like shows or anything. Like, I'm in like one about like parenting. I'm in one about like baby names. I'm one about like, you know, like stuff like that. Like, you could probably like, I'm in one with like slow cooking. Like, I feel like that would be your more canning, homesteading.
I feel like I follow enough of that other places though.
Yeah, probably Facebook groups.
Yeah. I know.
I think it is hard to tap into Reddit because it's confusing, because it's very different than Reddit, other social medias.
Yeah. Like Discord? No.
I don't know anything about Discord.
Discord just gives me...
I don't know anything about it.
Discord feels like, to me, this is what Discord feels like to me. It's like I'm sitting at my desk and I have different piles of paperwork in different sections, and then someone came by and like picked it all up and like dropped it. That's what Discord feels like to me. Now I know it's supposed to be organized and you have all these things, but there's no organization to people commenting and people posting. And I don't have the time to sit down there and sort through stuff. I hate it.
I feel like Reddit's kind of like that, because a lot of the information comes in those comments.
Yeah.
People will make a post, but I sometimes don't even read the post. I'll just read the comments. Like, I'm in the Gilmore Girls one. Like, I do a lot of TV shows, so I'm in the Gilmore Girls one, and someone will just ask a question, like, Lorelai, blah, 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 something. And so I just skip right over that, and I start reading the comments, because people will post all these different things in the comments, and that's where you get all your answers from. Comments. I don't know anything about Discord. I don't even know what it is.
It's like a forum. A lot of people have Discord that you have to like pay membership to be a part of. But I think there's free Discord. I don't know.
Yeah. There's one influencer that I follow. I guess she was famous. She was on Married at First Sight. She was also on The Bachelor, but I don't think she got very far. And I follow her. Well, actually, I don't follow her, but I used to. And she has like a ton of like monetized stuff where like if you're like a member of it, you get like.
I don't understand people who do that either. Like, would I pay to see like an
Well, and
extra
she's gonna
30-minute clip of you?
Yeah. Sounds like OnlyFans to me.
I know. Like, and I don't understand Patreon.
Patreon, yeah. Okay, so I used to follow this other girl, and she was on The Bachelor. Her name is Becca, and she has a Patreon where she has like her podcast is on there.
Yeah, and people, you have to pay,
Yeah.
right? Patreon,
Yeah.
you pay.
Yeah, pay Patreon.
I just don't. I mean, if you've got people that'll pay to watch you, get that bag. But I don't. I would never pay to watch somebody.
OnlyFans. That's basically what it is. It's
Like,
OnlyFans.
so
but
I know-
spicy. What are you talking about? That's that important.
Don't laugh, but like I know Bunny XO has a Patreon. Don't, I said don't.
I didn't laugh.
You rolled your eyes.
You didn't say I couldn't roll my eyes. I don't know anything about her either. But she's a celebrity. I feel like that's a little different. Like, she's a celebrity. I feel like people care more about their lives because it's like feels more elusive.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Like,
I guess I
okay,
personally.
if Tyler Childers, he's probably my favorite famous person. If he had a Patreon,
would you pay?
it depended what kind of stuff he was posting on there. Probably. I mean, I love him so much.
I don't even know how much these subscriptions cost. Are we talking like
insane?
$2 a month? Are we talking like $20 a month?
I don't want to get into this,
Yeah.
but this could definitely be a really, really interesting topic for next time.
Yeah.
This girl that I used to be really good friends with in college has an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Do you know the temptation I'm fighting every day to not subscribe?
Just see.
I'm fighting these temptations left and right. The devil is on my shoulder every day. I want to see it. I want to know what she's putting on there. The girl I'm talking about is on my like Instagram Explore tab because she has like 12 Instagram accounts. I watch every single video, and I engage with it. I send it to my friends. And like this girl, she has a son now, and she posted her content while pregnant with him.
Do you know Ashley Clark Kaufman?
Yeah, she's a recovering addict, right? And she was a
prostitute.
Yes, like very, very like.
Have you been watching her recently?
Well, I know that she was doing like, was it methadone or something like that? She was coming off
Suboxone.
Suboxone, yeah.
And like she went on a trip and like her medicine got all messed up and she decided just to go off. I think she's like on day 45 or 46 now. Like she's really up. But I originally came across her when she was telling a story where she's like, she did sex work for like $5, and I went, what?
Or it's like
$5?
Who the F did I marry? And like, you were telling me about that. I'd never watched it.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, but where her husband was getting like,
oh
yeah, for like what, $3 or something.
I'm like $5.
But that's the thing. Like these people, it's pretty low. Now I will tell you, I have looked at her free stuff. I'm too curious. I can't fight the demons, Caitlin. I need help, but I can't. I know her. I have to see what she's putting out there.
But why?
I can't stop myself. I don't want to see it. But like, what are you putting out there for? Okay, so there's like the free option. What are you putting out there for free? Like, where do you characterize like, oh, free. My boobs are free, but anything else, now you have to pay $5 to see it. She even had a reel on Instagram. It's like, you want to see me naked for free? No, you have to pay $3. That was a reel that she posted.
Oh my.
Now, mind you, I also think in the back of my mind, like, no one wants to see me in the nude. No one wants to see me in the buff. Nobody's paying for that. But I feel like, obviously they are.
I enjoy watching, like, Ashley and I don't know. And you know, like, her son killed somebody.
No.
Yeah.
You're deep in TikTok. I only know very minimal stuff.
I feel like I am very deep in TikTok. And when I talk to you about stuff, you're like, oh. But then you're like deep in Reddit, and I'm like, I don't even get on Reddit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on my phone.
I feel like for being an old person, like I know all the TikTok stuff.
Yeah. But I don't get that invested in stuff. Like, there's very few TikTokers that I'm deeply involved with. Like, I feel like I have a lot of people, like, where I don't follow a lot of people either.
Mm.
Even on Instagram, like, I'll just look them up. Like, I couldn't even tell you some people's, like, names and, like.
Yeah, Instagram, it's mainly just people I know. Facebook, it's mainly just people I know or groups I'm not part of. But TikTok,
Obviously, I don't know anybody on TikTok.
I don't think I
TikTok
follow
lives in a fantasy
anybody.
world. TikTok's like, that doesn't count.
Yeah, TikTok is where I follow all like those people. There's this old Sue in Costa Rica. Do you know who Sue in Costa Rica is?
No.
She cracks me up. She's an old lady, like old, like grandma,
Mm-hmm.
who moved to Costa Rica. And she just gets on there and says the craziest stuff.
See, but when I see, like, really old people on TikTok, I'm like, who's editing this? Or are you just
Trust
getting
me,
on
she
there?
is.
Are you just getting on there and just, like,
Yes.
talking and then posting it?
Yes, that's what she does.
Maybe that's what we need to just do. Full send.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. We need to make TikToks.
We do.
What do you want to see? Let us know. All right. Well, we've been chitting and chatting and yapping and yipping for quite some time. What time is it?
I don't even know.
It's only 11:23.
Yeah.
Doing this after the kids go to bed is a gamble because you never know what we're going to get.
Yeah. We could be at the top of our game or the freaking bottom of the barrel.
It's so much easier to do this in person. We tried to do one remotely and it was, the energy level was
never see.
You'll never see it. It'll never see the light of day.
No.
It was rough. This is us. We were like, yeah, so anyways. It's just because we were still at home. I could like hear my kids crying upstairs, and I'm like, I'm not in this.
Yeah. I felt like self-conscious. I felt like I was trying to be quiet because I didn't want David sitting on the other side of the door listening to what I was saying.
Well, I will say. So I think I don't know if I told you this. Colin texted me in the middle of that recording and said that the baby woke up and was crying, and so the rest of the
Great,
time,
Colin. What do you want me to do about it?
I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I think ever after that, I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So we need to work on it.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but
well,
great chit chat tonight. Loved it. Loved it.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Follow us on TikTok. Relatively_speaking. TK.
TK. All right. Bye, besties.